Hi, Aries. I hope that you are having a beautiful year so far. I mean, we're already here in October 2019. Wild, right? And what a month this is. I feel like you guys are going to jive very well with this month because it's got a lot of that Mars quality to it. Moving from Libra into Scorpio season. And Scorpio, one of its co-rulers is Mars, like you guys. And so you always have an interesting relationship with Scorpio for many reasons, including that you share Mars and that intensity. Also, that Scorpio season, it's eighth house energy, it's transformational energy, and so it always takes you to a deep place. Now, yeah, October in general for Aries, you guys, every year is going to be an impactful time of year where you connect more deeply with what it is you want, who you are, and where you're needing deeper nurturing, deeper love, deeper commitment to the life you want. This is a very visionary month for Aries every year, and this year especially has a lot of potency to it and a lot of checking in, like a lot of checking in. There's a lot going on here, so I'm going to talk a little bit through some of these transits, and then I'm also going to talk about why it matters that you make sure you're paying attention to yourself a little bit this month, because you may feel a little bit extra sensitive to certain aspects of yourself, or where you feel you need to be held, or where you feel emotions are coming up or bubbling up to the surface a little bit more intensely. So, like I said, this is a really empowered, powerful month, but you want to just be gentle with your Aries hearts, okay? So we have Pluto going direct in Capricorn. I'm really excited about that. It's going to be a very nice shift into direct motion with Pluto going direct on the 3rd of October, because we've been doing a lot of checking in with old patterning and doing a lot of great healing work. I actually really love outer planet retrogrades because they help us do a ton of healing in a very slow and nurturing way over several months. And Pluto's been retrograde since April, so it's been doing that work. But now it's kind of like, okay, we are taking all of those lessons and we're moving forward. Now, Pluto direct in Capricorn for you is really interesting. It has a lot to do with your mission in life and your work in the world. So you may be finding an uptick in how you want to share your talents and your gifts and your externalized cardinal energy. But we also have a lot going on here with your mirror season, right? Libra is your opposing sign. So the sun is in Libra right now, and there's a lot of this, and Mars is going to be entering Libra, your ruling planet, on October 4th. So there's a lot of energy illuminating who you are. And it's like a really long, intensive reflection period when we're in Libra season, including the fact that you have a full moon in your sign on the October 13th. So you've got this huge illumination going on, right? Not only is the sun illuminating you from the perspective of your other half of your mirror sign, but you also have that moon illuminating in your sign, and these energies help you see yourself clearly, right? But the other thing that's happening is planets are moving into your 8th house during this month. And we are in pre-shadow phase for Mercury retrograde happening in your 8th house. So your relationship with Scorpio is quite intense. It's a really powerful dynamic. And it's kind of like hyper turbo healing, connecting, listening. Scorpio is a truth seeker, just like Aries in many ways. Scorpio energy wants to get to the bottom of things, and because that is your 8th house of transformation, death, and rebirth, it means you're getting to the heart of anything that has been coming up, right? So we have Mercury going into Scorpio on the 3rd. We have Venus going into Scorpio on the 8th. We have the sun going into Scorpio on the 23rd. We have a new moon in Scorpio on the 27th. And we have Mercury beginning officially stationing retrograde on October 31st. There's tons of energy pouring into Scorpio this month. Ace of Cups, loving it. I love it. And there's a reason there's that renewal, rebirth energy popping up in your reading today. Ace of Pentacles. Because here's what's going on, you guys. Okay, so this is really intensive energy, right? It's relationship energy. Libra season is relationship time for Aries in many ways. How you're relating, how you're opening up, how you're closing down, where you're wanting support, where you're wanting to be in dialogue. It really highlights all of that. Plus, you got all this energy moving into your 8th house of transformation, which means that your shadow is also needing some attention. And I think we have this misconception of meaningful friendship, love, hermit, yes, nurturing, listening in to your ancient wisdom, yes, yes, yes. But we have this misconception, whether it's close friendships, family, definitely romantic relationships, love relationships, that we should, when we're in healthy, loving relationships, we should just feel like we're just expanding, we're floating on cloud nine. Yes, it should feel good. It should feel safe. 9 of Pentacles, safe, right? But you should also feel safe enough to explore the parts of yourself that are scared, vulnerable. Whoa. All 4 aces, Aries. Ace of Wands, Ace of Swords popped out. Okay, you have all 4 aces. Yeah. But, you know, expansion and growth require huge amounts of energy. And any successful expansion requires that you honor your shadow, you honor the side of yourself that does feel vulnerable, weak, unworthy, scared. Because it's not just going to be eviscerated because you're moving forward in life. 10 of Pentacles. Okay, you guys are having amazing cards here, by the way. So, very rich, rewarding cards. You're making some commitments. You're making some investments, some very happy, balanced, joyful investments. Page of Pentacles, right? You are. You are. This month is absolutely a month of warmth, connectivity, joy, deliberate, very deliberate choices to step on a path that works for you, that is working for you. Getting those answers you want, getting those conversations you want, getting the truth. Once again, this is a very truthful month. It's a very honest month of going over. I mean, for all signs, right? This is just a very truth-seeking month. And in your case, this is about showing up, expanding, opening those doors. But what I always find really interesting about very deeply expansive times like this, where you have just aces coming out of every doorway. Every doorway is open for you guys right now, right? New relationships, new infusions of money, new infusions of how you want to move through the world, how you want to make money, how you want to invest your time and your energies, new investments coming in for your home environment, right? North Node is still in Cancer in your 4th house of home and family. All that expansion is happening. All those doors are open. And yet that can be where we feel the most fragile, the most afraid, the most vulnerable. Because it's like everything's illuminated. Everything is quickly coalescing. And any of those parts of ourselves that are still stuck in points of maybe lack, or that you're not worthy, or that, you know, your intensity or where you're soft and where you need to be held aren't worth something, get highlighted when we're moving really quickly through these kind of energies and we're opening up doors. And for Aries especially, you guys need nurturing. You need nurturing. You know, it's one of the things that being a warrior and being on the front lines and being in that cardinal fire position, there's a sacrificial energy that comes with Aries energy, and you all know about this. We've talked about this a lot, where you are always on the front lines, which means inherently one of the things you're needing when we talk about balance, we talk about mirror season, we talk about Libra season, we also talk about Scorpio 8th house transformation energy. It's like, because you're always on the front lines, you, more than a lot of signs, need extra nurturing for your shadow, for your inner child, and for your lineage and your ancestral lineage going back. You need safe, warm, healing spaces, and to cultivate them within yourselves, and also find partnerships and people around you who can help you do that. So when you're expanding, that's great. It's like you're getting to be the Aries that you are, but you are needing this type of medicine this month. So just kind of keep in mind there's a balance here, because Hermit and 9 of Pentacles, if they're anything, they are about kind of taking, you know, those quiet times in life where, you know, you eat a nurturing meal, where you read a book that really connects with your soul, right? It's the ease and the quiet and the simplicity of home life, but it doesn't have to just be home. It's whatever it is that's very soothing to your soul. Now, this is also a container, right? So you create this soft, warm container, which I see for you guys here. Soft landing place. This can be within your partnerships. This can be within your friendships. This can be within where you're living or your work schedule, where you are allowed to honor any leftover, like any shadow, any inner child, anything that needs just some holding and nurturing, not to be cleared out and pushed away. You know, sometimes I think we get this whole idea, I'm doing the healing, I'm clearing it, I'm clearing it, I'm clearing it. It's like, that's great. But sometimes we're in a rush to just get rid of aspects of ourselves. It's like, that's not what we're being asked to do here, Aries. You're being asked to just witness those parts of yourself that are coming with you on this journey of openness, and give them a little space to breathe. Give them a little space to speak to you and give you some of that wisdom. Give you wisdom about, okay, you're starting that new job. You're starting that new relationship. You're starting that new lifestyle. You stepped into this new identity. It's here. It's happening. How can we honor the parts of ourselves that are overwhelmed, are a little bit scared, do need a little bit of attention? How can we honor those parts of ourselves and give them little tools that we can take with us throughout the day, throughout the month, throughout the week, so that we can sustain this level of growth, so that we don't just burn through it all and find that we feel a little hollow and a little empty with the intensity of getting everything we want and the intensity of moving into these new fields. It has to be balanced with this kind, grounding, honoring, right? But there's a lot of safe spaces here for you guys to kind of have an even pendulum swing between huge open door ace energy and some nurturing spaces. So make sure you carve out time for those nurturing spaces. Make sure you carve out time if you are in committed partnerships, or you're busy and you have kids, and to take those nurturing times where you communicate together and you take your time with each other, and if friendships, whatever meaningful relationships are in your life, take some time to nurture them, to listen in, just carve out some gentle time for that. Because with Ace of Swords and Ace of Wands especially, these are very externalized energies, right? These are energies that come in when we are really busy in the external world. So we are making phone calls, we are doing trips, we are fixing things, we are working, we're making the money, we're taking the actions, we're saying what we need to be saying, we're clearing the pathways for things, we are doing all of that. That's great. Externalized energy is great. Overanalyzing and sitting in our houses and just thinking about healing can only do so much. It is very good to be moving through the world. It's a very good thing for all of us to have that. And this is a time where you're moving through the world. There's a lot of clarity here, right? There's a lot of, once again, very truthful month ahead. So the answers are coming in. So with that, carving out that space to listen in, with that carving out that space to really nurture your closest relationships, including the one with yourself. Don't forget that one. It's a big one. With all of that energy, you're getting really clear answers about things. You're understanding the mechanisms of things at a very deep level. Now, the information that's coming in for you, whether it be a phone call with a job offer or a deep, nurturing conversation, is allowing you to make some kind of really big decision with your investments. Ten of Pentacles, Page of Pentacles. Now, Ten of Pentacles, whenever this card shows up, I always have to say, this is about a lot. Ooh, I'm getting goosebumps. Ooh, ooh. This is about a long-term investment, right? This isn't just about what you're investing in October. That's great. It's the beginning steps of something, but whatever you're doing, whatever you're investing in, whatever you're opening up, is opening up a longer range cycle. Because if 10 of Pentacles is anything, it's the long range vision, right? It's about understanding that the seeds you sow today, it's not just about, whatever, I don't really care what this garden is. It's like you're planting trees. So your investments here are really stable, they're really strong, they're really long range. Page of Pentacles is kind of the youthful side of that. Pages bring in news, right? The Page of Pentacles tends to bring in some kind of health news, money news, something that allows you to physically move through this world and make things happen. And there's a lot of intense, directional, focused, intent energy here. This isn't about wishy-washy thinking, right? None of your cards are actually about wishy-washy thinking. I'll tell you right now that this month is like laser vision. Actually, that's the first sentence that came out. I had a note written up for you guys, and I think I've covered most of what came out, but it's really interesting to me because the first sentence that came out, and I'm looking at my notes right here, it says laser focused vision during this month. I don't know about you, but like I feel like 4 aces represents laser focused vision better than anything. There's a clarity in Ace of Pentacles because it's like you just know, right? That's your doorway. That's where you're focusing. All of these energies are telling me a couple of things. That laser focus is really strong. Also, it's about choosing, right? It's quality over quantity. So it's choosing those 1 or 2 things you really want to invest in. Clarifying your life. Getting to the bones of what it is that you really want to put your energy into. I'm going to pull one more card from my Cosmic Tarot to finish out our conversation today, but I mean, I don't even know how to top off this amazing reading, you guys. I love it. Prince of Swords. You know, that laser clarity, that laser vision, you know, I think about Libran energy and the fact that we are in Libra season for most of the month. That desire for conversation, that desire for using words in constructive ways, right? That desire for the ability to share ideas, share internal truths using the throat chakra, right? And releasing the throat chakra in a healthy way. So this may be a month if you're feeling resistance to sharing parts of yourself in this journey of big opening and big investment and big intentionality, because it is weirdly vulnerable when we really know what we want, having to put it into words sometimes. But it's a really important part of the process for you is to be able to write it out for yourself and also to speak it to those who are involved and speak it to those who could be involved and to put those requests out there, put those phone calls out there for that space, for that investment, for what have you. This is a big month of you guys really being seen without your armor on and having to kind of like show your cards, which can be quite overwhelming at times, which is why you need the nurturing space to take your time, slow down, so that that throat chakra feels safe enough to speak authentically and not just impatiently or protectively, right? It's big. Like expansion is amazing, action is amazing, but man, is it vulnerable? It also is very vulnerable. It's also very exposed. It's also, sometimes we can get really comfortable in our internal healing process where okay, yeah, you can't act on everything, and sometimes it's frustrating, and sometimes you get sad. But when you're finally in a season of life where it's time to move forward and it's time to get moving through the world, suddenly it's like you realize how comfortable you got not having to express it all externally all the time. And now it's time to go. Now it's time to do. Now it's time to show up to all of the bounty in life. All right, you guys. So I have a few sessions left on my fall-winter calendar, so I would pop on over there if you're interested in doing a one-on-one session and snatch up the last of those sessions because, yeah, there's only so many that I can do in the fall. So go check that out. You can also check out my Patreon that I just finally opened up. I am going to be covering all sorts of things. I'm doing weekly astrology write-ups so you get an idea of what is coming in. And how to use the energies for the week and get like a thematic sense of that. I'm also going to be doing video extras. I'm planning on doing a Mercury retrograde and Scorpio video, Pluto direct video. I'm also going to be talking a lot more about my personal journey. If you're curious about my journey through sensitivity and how I've dealt with that and some tool sets to work with, I'm going to be doing a lot more about that and Q&As and all the fun stuff. So it's a great place to hang out, connect in with your magic, hang out with me a little bit more, and I so appreciate your support and your love. So if you're interested in heading on over to Patreon, I would love your support. There's already some stuff up there, and there's going to be weekly editions every single week, so there will always be resources there for you, so check out Patreon. I'll leave the link for that below. You can also find me on Instagram at SarahVerba, and you can find PinkLune's gorgeous jewelry on her Etsy shop. I'll leave her link below as well. I love you guys so much. I will see you for more magic in November. More transformation for the Aries clan is ahead. I will tell you that right now. I hope you are having a beautiful October. I love you so much. You know how I feel about you, Aries. If you don't know how I feel about you already, I'll tell you right now. I have a big crush on you guys. I think you are so amazing and magical. You inspire me all the time, and I think discovering your softness in your heart when for those areas that I'm close to in my life, that's probably my favorite thing in the world, is getting to share that safe, soft space with you, because it is so freaking beautiful and immaculate. As much as I love your drive and your willpower and your ability to get things done, getting to know your internal soft spaces is just so beautiful. So I am sending you guys all my love, all my blessings. Have a beautiful October. I will see you very soon. All the love. Mwah.